when a teenage boy pointed at my red Mustang and shouted, "My dad deserves that more than a black judge ever will." I froze. I thought he was just another entitled kid. But then I found out who his father was, a criminal I'd sentenced years ago. Now his family was living in my neighborhood. And what started as casual disrespect turned into full-blown harassment. But they didn't know who they were messing with. I never forget a face, especially from the courtroom. It was a quiet Sunday when I pulled into my driveway, my freshly waxed 1969 Mustang gleaming in the afternoon sun. My neighbor 2 houses down, a middle-aged woman with a Karen haircut, gave me her usual side eye. I nodded politely. She didn't respond. That's when he came storming down her porch. A lanky white teenager in a sleeveless shirt, maybe 17. He pointed straight at my car. "Hey, that's MY Dad's car." I paused mid-step. "Excuse me, that Mustang. My dad had the exact same one before your kind took everything from him." Your kind. It hit me hard. I'm used to passive racism. I felt it in the courtroom, in corporate meetings at the grocery store. But this was loud, open, targeted. I didn't respond. I just walked inside. But I noted his face, sharp jaw, sunburned neck, eyes full of something ugly. I'd seen that expression before. In court. That night, I searched my old records. It took less than an hour. There he was, Travis Dalton, convicted of armed robbery and assault. I was the sentencing judge. 10 years. Denied parole. And now his son was my neighbor. And the boy. His name was Kyle Dalton. Over the next few days, Kyle escalated. He'd walk by the Mustang and spit on the ground. He'd blast music outside our house. Once I caught him standing way too close to the car, pretending to check the tires. My wife was getting nervous. "He's unstable. He's watching us," she said. "And his mother doesn't stop him." But I wasn't ready to go full legal mode yet. I wanted to give them a chance. So one afternoon, I walked over. Karen opened the door. "Hi," I said calmly. "Your son's been making comments about my car and my family. I'd like to ask for some basic neighborly respect." She smiled, a fake, sour smile. "Well, maybe if you hadn't destroyed his father's life, he wouldn't be angry. His father was convicted of armed robbery. With witnesses. A white man. In your courtroom. That says enough, doesn't it?" I blinked. She slammed the door. The next morning, I came outside and found the Mustang's front hood keyed. Deep scratches. The word, thief. My blood boiled. This wasn't just vandalism. This was a message. I filed a police report, showed them security footage, but Kyle had been careful. No cameras had him in the act. But I knew it was him. And so did the police. But they needed proof. So I did what judges do best. I gathered evidence. I installed extra motion sensors, disguised cameras in the mailbox, even a tiny lens behind my porch light, facing the street. Days passed. Then, one night around 2 a.m., my alert went off. I watched in real time as Kyle approached the car with a crowbar. He swung. Crash. The side mirror snapped clean off. He was mid-swing again when red and blue lights lit up the street. I had already called the sheriff and given them live access to the feed. Kyle turned and tried to run, but it was too late. Pinned on the hood of a squad car, screaming racial slurs, he sounded exactly like his father in that courtroom 10 years ago. History really does repeat itself. Kyle was hauled into the back of the squad car, fists clenched, spitting on the pavement. His mother, Karen, stormed out in a bathrobe, shrieking like someone had shot her dog. "You can't arrest a child. He's only a boy. This is racial." The deputy, a calm and serious woman, turned to her with a stare as cold as steel. "Ma'am, your son was caught on live security feed committing felony vandalism. You're welcome to scream, but this isn't a debate." Karen's face went pale. She glanced at me, and for the first time since they moved in, she didn't speak. I just stood there, silent, calm, watching, exactly the way I do in court. Next morning, things escalated again. Not from Kyle, but from Karen. I found a note taped to my front door. "We know what you did. You're not welcome here. Just wait." There was a drawing on the back. A crude stick figure hanging from a tree. It was a threat. A racial one. That was it. I went straight to my old friend and former colleague, Sheriff Milton. He knew me well. Knew my record. Knew how serious this could get. "You want me to press full charges, Judge?" No, I said, I want them to understand who I am. That weekend, I arranged a neighborhood council emergency meeting at my house. I invited HOA officers, local residents. And yes, Karen, to everyone's surprise, she showed up. I stood in front of a projector with a slideshow already cued. First slide, the Dalton family, a pattern of hate. Second slide, Kyle's mugshot from the last night's arrest. Third slide, court transcript from his father's trial. A section where Travis Dalton threatened to shoot the black judge in the head. Karen stood up. This is character assassination. This is harassment. I held up my hand. Calm, precise, powerful. This is truth. And in this neighborhood, we protect our homes, not tolerate hate. Applause. Then Sheriff Milton spoke. The Dalton property has now been marked under community threat review. Any more incidents, and they're out permanently. Karen sat down, speechless. A week later, a tow truck pulled up in front of my house. Kyle had been released on bail, and they were trying to be clever. We're repossessing this Mustang, the driver said smugly. Court order signed by a certain Judge Donovan. Ever heard of him? I smiled. Yes, I am Judge Donovan. They looked stunned. I pulled out a folder, the title of the car, my security footage, and the sheriff's court order protecting my property. Also this tow truck, registered to Black Stallion Hauling Services. I own it. The driver's mouth dropped. I didn't know you were about to steal from a judge, on camera, with no legal basis. You'll explain it, in court. The tow truck reversed down my driveway very quickly. The next day, Karen put up a for sale sign. Kyle, he'll likely spend the next few years in juvenile detention. Same cell block where we send kids whose hate turns into action. As I stood next to my Mustang, watching Karen's U-Haul slowly drive away, I whispered, justice is slow, but it never forgets. New HOA justice stories come out every day right here on our YouTube channel. Subscribe now and hit that bell icon to catch every suspense-filled, twist-loaded episode as soon as it drops. You never know who's next.